Hello Scorpio, what is going on? Welcome to your October astrology and tarot. My name is Jai Gobind and this is your channel for grace. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing, for giving the video a thumbs up, and also making sure that your notifications are on so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. We are going to get through a couple of announcements and then get into the astrology for freaking Scorpio. On the 23rd, it's going to be Scorpio season, and we're going to have a lot of planets moving into Scorpio. So I'm sure you're so excited that we're moving into your time zone. The first thing I wanted to tell you guys about is a 6-week course that Jason from Ray of Light Tarot, and I have co-created, and it's going to be so exciting. We just went live yesterday. I'm actually recording this video on the 21st, but we just went live yesterday, and it was so much fun to share with you guys a little bit of sort of a preview of some of the topics that we're going to cover, and we'll be going live in the next few weeks to give you more of those previews. But basically the course is to help you step into manifesting, into a mastered way of manifesting, which really requires a very foundational understanding of how it all works and why we're all here and where it all comes from, and why would you even focus on manifesting? Why would you even step into purpose? Like, what's the point of it all, right? We're going to cover all of that, and you're also going to get one-on-ones with me and Jason, an astrology reading, a general reading, and also a what makes you magic reading from Jason. So it's going to be like super packed with a lot of information and a lot of support and a lot of coaching. So if you're wanting to take that next step to gain the tools really that's going to help you for the rest of your life, this is going to be something that you don't want to miss. So that starts October 13th on the full moon in Aries, and you can sign up by clicking the link in the description of this video. Also in October, my natal astrology readings will be available to sign up for. So on the 1st, that's going to start coming available, and you'll be able to go to my website, channelforgrace.guru, and just click on book an astrology reading. I still do tarot readings as well if you would prefer one of those, but I'm so excited about this because I have designed a very powerful in-depth reading looking at natal charts, which are really the blueprint of who you are and what your purpose is in this lifetime. And that's such an important focus of all the work that I do, is helping people to spiritually evolve and step into more of their own self-power. And so the readings are going to include things like a written report, a 90-minute session, major life events like Saturn return, Uranus opposition, Chiron return, depending on where you're at in your life and when those major events happened or will happen. And also a bunch of other stuff. Like once the first comes, the page will be available for you to look at the details of exactly what you're going to get when you sign up. So if you've been wanting one of these natal chart readings and you're really excited that I'm starting to do these, then definitely sign up, and I'm so excited to work with you. Remember my Etsy sale? I have an Etsy shop called Eagle Star Jewels, and it is on sale, 50% off of everything until the end of September. Check that out. I've got some really cute necklaces and mini malas and regular malas that are all sacred jewelry. That's what I do. I work with crystals and I work with stones and crystal beads. So to me, it's a way of working with that second dimensional energy and using it to help you really align energetically with those higher vibrations that we really want to be at in our daily life. If you haven't yet watched my October astrology forecast, make sure you watch that, because I'm going to go through these events here for you, major events that are happening in October astrologically, and how they're affecting you as a Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising, and also do a tarot reading in this video. But the astrology forecast video for the month has a lot more detail about these events, so I highly recommend you watch that and you take notes on your calendar. So let's burn a little Palo Santo. Thank you for bearing with me there with those announcements. Such amazing things are happening in October. I cannot wait, especially for the Finding the Magic Playground course. Thank you, Spirit, for being with us today. I would like to ask help clearing the energy of the cards that I'm going to be using for today's reading, as well as clearing my energy so I can be that open channel of the wisdom, the grace, and the intuition, and these very powerful psychic messages and downloads to come to you, my beautiful Scorpio friends. So we'll begin with the astrology, and there's 3 really powerful events that start the month, that start us off in October. These 3 events are Pluto goes retrograde, Mercury moves into Scorpio, and Mars moves into Libra. Pluto has been retrograde for a while, and when it's in retrograde position, it tends to be this like inner journey of transformation and shift. So we've been going through that. But now we're ready to see our external world start to change. So as we do the internal work, things on the outside begin to transform. And Pluto going direct, it's in Capricorn, but it's going direct, and it is the planet of transformation in your 3rd house of communication, of how you express yourself through your words. This is throat chakra energy. This is how open are you to share your voice, to speak your truth. And Pluto, as you know, is your ruling planet because it does rule the sign of Scorpio and also the 8th house. But this energy is going to start to transform, and you've probably been feeling it already for a while because Pluto has been transiting your 3rd house for a while now, along with Saturn and along with the South Node. So there's a lot in this area of your life that you've been feeling a lot of changes, a lot of shifts happening in, and now they're going to become a little more apparent to you in your external environment. And it has to do with, like I said, communication, how you speak your truth, how you communicate with other people. And you might feel like really speaking your truth now more than ever, like stepping into your truth now more than ever, especially because you are Scorpio. And that is like, you want to go very in depth when it comes to, communicating and really being able to dive deep into topics. So when Mercury moves into Scorpio, into your sign of Scorpio, it will be in your 1st house of self and identity. And Mercury in Scorpio, Mercury is the mind, it's our thoughts, it's the way that we want to understand the world through our mind. And in Scorpio, it really gets this curious energy to really dive in and want to understand everything about everything. And the fact that this is happening, on the same day, Pluto going direct and Mercury moving into Scorpio, and Pluto rules that sign of Scorpio, and Mercury is also the planet of communication. I mean, this is going to really open up for you this ability to really speak your mind. I think Scorpios tend to be a little reserved because they want to feel like it's really safe to be vulnerable. And they're so open, they're so intuitive, they're so psychic. Most Scorpios that I know, that that sensitivity can get a little bit intense. And so that's why I feel that Scorpios are so open that they have to create this shield of protection around them to make sure that they don't get overwhelmed by, reading other people's energies and just other people's energy in general. But now you get this opportunity we've all been gaining a lot of clarity in our lives. But now we're shifting energies, and we're shifting into a mode of now really embodying who we are, embodying our purpose, embodying our true self, bringing, integrating the soul, letting the soul align with us, or us aligning with the soul in a way that when you speak words, because we're talking about communication, when you speak words, when you express yourself, when your throat chakra is open and you speak your truth, it comes through in a very powerful way. And I see this door kind of opening up for you in this realm of communication, the mind, understanding at a deeper level things that are going on in your life when it comes to this communication energy. Mars will move into Libra, and that will be in your 12th house of bliss and the unconscious mind, or subconscious mind, not unconscious, but subconscious mind. Mars is our drive, and Libra is this kind of diplomat that wants to balance things out and make sure everybody feels good, make sure everybody's included, and like no one left behind, no one feels, you know, they're very, it's hard for Libras to make decision. It's hard for this Libra energy to sort of make up its mind, because it really wants to see the whole picture. And so this tends to make Mars feel, our drive, feel a little bit like lazy, because we don't really, you know, Mars is all about, it ruled by Aries, it's all about moving forward, and a very intense and powerful energy, like very masculine energy, very like third chakra, solar plexus energy. I'm just going to plow through this. But Libra goes, hang on a second, like slow down a little bit, you know, like nobody wants to move that fast and that intensely all the time. And so this energy is going to be interesting for us, because it'll make us really look at things in a different way, look at relationships in a different way, because you've got that Libra energy of relationships and being social life. We're going to want to be maybe a little more social. In your 12th house of bliss and the subconscious mind, this is going to activate this energy of, you know, the beyond, the veil, looking on the other side of things. The 12th house is this house of completion. It's ruled by Pisces and Neptune, but it's this house of completion. And it brings you like full circle to this feeling of you finally did what you came here to do in the world. It is the final house before we begin again with the first house. And so whenever there's planets in this house, this activates this like beyond the veil understanding. I feel like this month for you, Scorpio, is going to be very intense, because you're already intense. You're already there. It's just going to open up more doors. And it might be, you know, a good time to really maybe see eye to eye with certain people in your life, because they're going to be accessing this energy too. This energy opens up, and we're all able to really access it in a powerful way, whether we are Scorpio or not, because we have Scorpio in our charts, and these scorpionic, like in-depth energies, Pluto, are really like opening up doors for us to move further into our ascension, further into our spiritual growth, and transforming our lives from the inside out, and then completing the transformation in what looks to be like out external references. The sun will be squaring Saturn on the 7th of October. The sun is in your 12th house of Libra, and Saturn is in your 3rd house of Capricorn, and the communication that we were just talking about. This day, or this transit, tends to be feel a little bit rough. Squares are things that the universe kind of brings out and says, you need to look at this. This is something that needs to be fixed before we continue further along. And so for you, there's going to be this conflict between your sense of self and who you are, your identity, what you value, really everything that makes you you. And then this area of communication. It's like, are these aligned? Am I aligned with what I say? Are my words aligned with who I am? Am I finding that balance between those two things and showing the world who I really am? You got to ask yourself those questions, and I recommend that you step into showing the world who you really are, not hiding anything, and communicating your truth, especially communicating your truth. And anything that comes up during this time, it's really important for us to fix right away, because otherwise it'll just keep getting worse and worse and worse, especially with this, South Node, Saturn and Pluto energy that is like making us like really look at our lives and really look like our past, our karmic relationships, even past life stuff, and bringing it to the table and saying, okay, this is no more. This story is over. A new story is beginning. We're all moving into this energy. It's time to move on from these things. So that's why it's been so difficult for a lot of us these last, 6 months and, last few years, basically. On that same day, we'll have a Mercury oppose Uranus, and that'll be an exact opposition. And then again, Mercury is in Scorpio in your 1st house, and then Uranus is in Taurus in your 7th house. So this is You, your identity, you in your little box or you in your little bubble, and then you and other people, you and your relationships. There's that polarity between these two houses. And Taurus has been, or Uranus has been in Taurus for a while now, and it will be there for the next 7 years or so. And it's teaching us to build a new world. As a collective, it's teaching us to build a new world. But as an individual, for you, Scorpio, this transiting in your 7th house is asking you to build new relationships, to build a new world around new relationships that align better with where you are at, who you are. And I know you've been doing the work. I know you've been stepping into purpose. So this is a really powerful thing that's happening. You're being asked to like renovate, to revolutionize, to change the way your relationships really work. Venus will move also into Scorpio in your 1st house of self and identity on the 8th. And then this is like, again, more relationship stuff. It's amazing how much these themes of relationships, all of the signs are dealing with right now. It's almost like the reason that, you know, we've been asked to change and shift from within. There's been a lot of planets in retrograde. And now, little by little, they're starting to go direct, which means that shift needs to really extend out into the outside world. And so what does that look like? Well, once you do the work, you can't keep the same friends that you had when you were in a low level vibration. You can't keep the same relationships you had when you were in a low level vibration, unless those people have risen up with you and you've moved together into this new energy. Those relationships will no longer feel like they have a connection, an energetic connection. It'll actually feel very separate. You will feel a distance from people in your life that are still in that low level, still kind of working on their stuff and still not sure of themselves and still struggling in life. And we all go through those moments, but for a lot of us, and if you're watching my videos in general, you're actually someone who is interested in this spiritual aspect of life. So for those of us that are growing and wanting to change and shift in a spiritual way, we're being called to higher and higher and higher ascension and frequencies. And so I think that all this relationship stuff is happening now because we need to find our tribe. We need to find our group. We need to connect with people that are on that same journey. It's, you know, power comes in numbers, but it also, what happens is that energy exponentially activates and shines further out into the world, and we become those examples. We become those people that anchor the light on the earth. And then that is what transforms everything else around you. So it's this inner transformation becoming now an outer transformation. It's a really beautiful thing that we're all experiencing right now. The full moon in Aries is going to be happening in your 6th house of work and the energy of being here now. That's going to be on the 13th. That's the day that we start the Finding the Magic Playground course. And the 6th house is, it's work, but there's this really cool polarity between the 6th house and the 12th house. It's like, be here now, but also reach towards the divine, the 12th house, and access that on the mystery school, the mystery knowledge, access it, but then bring it here into the now. And the full moon is a beginning, a new beginning. The cycle that just ended with the full moon in Pisces was a complete lunar cycle. And now a new lunar cycle starts, and we all get this, let's begin again. And that's a beautiful opportunity for you to notice, you know, in your everyday life, how can you like begin a new like episode, a new cycle with regarding the things that are going on in your everyday life, your daily schedule, the things you do on a daily basis. Like if you meditate every day, you know, or if you don't, maybe you start something like that. How can you begin something new in your everyday? Those little things that you do on, you know, on a small scale, they make a big difference. So this is something that if you haven't yet thought about it, this is going to be the beginning of something really beautiful for you to be in the moment, to help you be in the moment better and to align more when you're here in the now, instead of when you're like thinking about the future or thinking about the past. Energetically being right here, what can you begin? what project or activity can you begin, on a daily basis that is going to help you continue to rise into this higher dimension. The sun will enter Scorpio on the 23rd, so happy birthday to you guys, and happy Scorpio season. And we'll have the new moon in Scorpio on the 27th. And both of these, of course, are happening in your first house of self and identity. So you're stepping into you. This is a new cycle for you. A whole year has gone by since your last birthday, and a lot of us grow a lot, and a lot of us have grown a lot, especially these last few years, because of all the huge shifts that have been going on. So you're stepping into you, and the new moon in Scorpio will be all about you. What do you want for your life? What intentions do you want to set for yourself? And we end the month with Mercury conjunct Venus, this beautiful social energy that, Mercury and Venus, they want to talk about it, and they want to talk about the fact that they're in the same sign, and they feel similar energies. And this is you. This is your sign. This is Scorpio. So you're gonna love this energy. It's gonna feel really comfortable for you. You're gonna want to go deep. You're like, oh, I already know this. I understand this. So now that everybody else gets to experience this, I'm gonna take advantage of that and really build better relationships. And they'll be trining Chiron, which is helping us all to really heal the masculine wound, our ego. We've been learning how to not release the ego, because you don't want to release the ego, but at least understand it and kind of put it in its own place, and understand how it serves you, and when it serves you, and when it doesn't serve you. So we're becoming humble, and that's what Chiron is teaching us right now in Aries, is to be a little more humble. But this will open up a door to heal a lot of relationships. So I'm excited for you guys this month. What we are going to do now is shuffle some cards and give you a message from the tarot. And I'm using these Moon Magic tarot cards, or Moonchild. All right, what does Scorpio need to know for this month of October, as we move out of Libra season and into Scorpio season? Okay, first card we begin with is the Eight of Pentacles. This is really beautiful portal looking card. We're going to put that down and keep shuffling, and I'll pull them all and then tell you what messages are coming through. Divine Wisdom. I love that. Both of these cards so far are very, there's a lot of Egyptian symbolism in them. And Egypt is one of, the great mystery schools, the mystery schools of goddess Isis. It's, for you, I feel like this is you understanding even deeper, literally receiving divine wisdom from beyond. Oh, Six of Cups, interesting. The Six of Cups is about, it's a little bit nostalgic. You look back at things of your past and you think, oh, life was really good back then. Or, sometimes if you are, in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, sometimes this card for soulmates and twin flames can represent someone from your past coming back. And what that means, I don't know. But there's this nostalgic. It's also like childhood memories, past lives too. But it's also understanding, where you come from, which is, and healing the inner child. And then we get the Six of Pentacles. I see another portal in this card. These are pretty beautiful cards, you guys. All right, so the Eight of Pentacles. Let's look at that first. Like I said, there's a lot of Egyptian symbols in this card. There's also a couple of rainbows coming out of these like statues' heads. I don't know if you guys can see that. But the Eight of Pentacles is the card of the tradesman. This is a time for you to learn a new skill or to focus on work, maybe a new job. A new job could be coming soon. This is cool because this really matches with that energy of the sixth house, of this full moon in Aries happening in your sixth house, of work and beginning something new, this new energy starting on this day. That's makes a lot of sense that you would be getting ready to learn something new, like pull in another new skill. And I wouldn't be surprised, I don't know if you see this, like in the middle there's like the universe, if it's something metaphysical, like a new skill, a new metaphysical skill, or something that's different than the normal new thing that you're going to study. But I really feel like you might already be doing this, getting ready to begin a new process, learning something new, going, to higher education, trainings, things like that. I want to actually read you from this book about the Divine Wisdom card, because this is a card that's specific to this tarot deck. Divine wisdom that comes from above. Divine wisdom is all about the Akashic record. So this is past life stuff. It's about awakening, your higher self, expansion. The floodgates are beginning to open. Oh yeah. As the seated wisdom of the ancient mysteries are now pouring through. This is the divine knowledge that exists within your cellular memory and the power of your own unique story. You may be experiencing a breakdown of the artificial structures that wish to fall by the wayside as new forms of wisdom stir within your heart. This may also indicate a deeper sense of awakening as you connect with various forms of teachings, lineages, or philosophies that call out from beyond this time. Called it, you guys. You're about to learn some major stuff and get some major downloads. And it will definitely have to do with you understanding past lives, knowledge from the Akashic records, receiving messages from star beings like the Pleiades or, the Sirians, or learning about the higher dimensions. This is like esoteric knowledge coming at you. The door is wide open for you to step through and learn some of these powerful ancient practices. I would, if you've been thinking about taking our Finding the Magic Playground course, I would highly recommend it, because we are going to talk about ancient cultures and the history of the planet and the 3 waves of volunteers and things like that. So that's one way to actually, it's funny because this matches really well. It's like going into a mystery school. This kind of is Finding the Magic Playground is inspired by all the knowledge from the mystery school. So maybe our program is something that you are really called to do. I would definitely check that out. The Six of Pentacles is the great philanthropist that shares his wealth. This card symbolizes charity, giving, and generosity. It can also signify a great inheritance. So 2 things there. You're either going to be receiving an inheritance, or you're going to be so full of knowledge and so full of this richness of life, the spiritual richness of life, that you are going to feel like really sharing your voice and sharing what you've learned in that way. So we're going to pull a card or 2 from this oracle deck called The Secret Language of Light. And I really love this message, you guys. I really love this message. So you actually got 3 cards here, Scorpio. You got soulmating. Some of you guys might be finding soulmate or connecting with soulmates at this time. Remember that soulmates don't necessarily have to be romantic relationships, but most of the time we do feel like when we say the word soulmate, it's like someone that we were meant to be for our whole lives. So some of you guys might be stepping into all this occult knowledge and learning, like, and maybe meeting your soulmate. You also got the wellness card. Really important for you to take care of yourself. during this time, during this month, and make sure that as you are receiving all these downloads and as all this information is coming in, that you're really taking care of yourself, and you get soul writing. And this is beautiful, this image in this card. Let me bring it a little closer. There's an angel, there's triangles. It looks almost like the star tetrahedron, just a bunch of triangles here. But so soul writing, you are rewriting your future. You are rewriting your life. You're learning about, this month is about you learning about your past and your past lives and karma, and how you can literally rewrite your future. I love this. Love, love, love this reading, Scorpio. Wow. I can't wait for you to watch it. And I would love to know how this resonated with you in the comments below. Check out our course, check out the Etsy shop, and if you want a natal astrology chart, that will be available starting October. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of this beautiful community and this beautiful channel for grace, and I hope you guys have an amazing month. Satnam. See you next time.